Iverson's famous practice. You talk to me about practice?
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 Not a game.
Not a game that I die for. We're going to be talking about that because it's the anniversary of that. And then we're also just checking in. There's been a lot of activity since last we met. We want to talk about Coach Pop. We have to talk about, I have to eat a little bit of crow around Haliburton's performance so far, although, we'll see how that plays out. And yeah, man. So where do you want to start?
So for those who are friends of the show, and we continue to have more, so thank you for those who continue to listen. This May 7th is a big day. AI, not AI, that's what you're thinking of. Notebook AI, if you're using Gemini,
Yeah.
chat GPTers.
Yeah.
It's all about Allen Iverson. Some of you celebrate 420. No shame in that.
Sure.
Some of you made the 4th.
I mean, there was even a little scuttlebutt that maybe AI celebrated a little 420 before he went to the original press conference. People say he was drunk.
Yeah, give me a break.
Yeah.
That's BS. Some celebrate May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Correct.
I had a chance to listen to my daughter sing in her final choir performance, and they were singing the theme song to Star Wars. It was pretty cool.
Are there words?
Yeah, it was. It's sort of no word. It's wordless.
I think Bill Murray had words. Star Wars.
It's wordless.
Star
so
Wars.
We're here for the day.
Yeah.
Before we can get to AI, for those who are friends of the show,
yeah,
this is for us the #1 sports quote.
It's our most downloaded episode ever.
Our most downloaded episode ever. But we love AI for this.
Practice
in the top 5. You challenge me on this. And our top 5 is I'm here so I just don't get fined.
Yes, Marshawn Lynch, correct.
We also have That's My Quarterback.
Is this in no particular order, right? I mean,
no particular order.
Okay. Yeah.
That's My Quarterback.
T.O. Yeah, we did a show about that.
Playoffs.
Don't
talk to me about playoffs.
We still haven't done. I think we owe we owe our listeners a follow up on playoffs because we probably say that as much as anything.
Shout out to Jim Moore.
Yeah.
And that is why we played the game.
What is that one?
Dennis Green. And now,
no. The Dennis Green is.
That is why.
No.
Okay.
This is going to go out live. I'm sorry, but
all right, go ahead.
They are who we thought they were.
Oh, that's right. But no, you also said that's why we play the game.
But I mean, don't you think they are who?
When they had the
also
biggest, they had the biggest collapse in Cardinals
history.
Man,
I'm 40. That's like...
And now one that's about to sneak in.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to say anything, but you mentioned it. About to sneak in is overrate that. Do you have something to say?
Yeah.
About your boy?
Yeah.
Tyrese Haliburton.
If he wants to bring out the Sam Cassell move and the Serrano from Major League move, he's got to hold his hands a little further down and get a little more form into it. I think he's
playing Joe Boo for you Major League fans.
He's playing the role of he's Reggie Miller 2.0. That's who he is. And I think he might even appreciate that. And Reggie would probably
both the funky shot, both light.
Live.
Sorry, live. They do that all the time.
Sinewy. Yeah. Wiry. Then I don't even know if they're wiry because I'm wiry and Team Wiry might not let these guys in. I'm kidding. Reggie Miller's wiry AF.
And so those are our top 5. And and this was the only time we read out a full quote, but must set the scene. Sixers lose in the playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs.
2002.
Yeah.
Iverson, the coach of the Sixers, Larry Brown.
Right.
They're a little bit of a contract dispute. Iverson's looking for some loyalty.
There might have been some kind of thing at the practice facility where they were
shouting at each other.
But also, after they were just eliminated. Yeah.
Just eliminated. Iverson's best friend was just murdered.
Right. 7 months ago. He was still dealing with it.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
And went to a press conference and said, if I can't practice, I can't practice. If I'm hurt, I'm hurt. It ain't about that. It's not about it at all.
Now you got to feel it. You got to feel it. I feel like this is.
But it's easy to talk about and sum it up when you just talk about practice. We're talking about practice, not a game. And the reason that it's
Practice.
the
There's
most
more though.
downloaded,
He keeps going,
it
right?
keeps going,
Yeah.
most downloaded show because AI, if there was Team Jordan, AI was that next. He was what brought the culture to the NBA. He had
Yeah.
as big an impact, in my mind, as Jordan has handed off to AI,
Yeah.
as Kobe did, and as Steph did in changing the game with
Yeah.
three-pointers. AI was the man.
He held the baton. He
he
received the baton from the GOAT and he didn't drop it, and he carried it as a not very hefty gentleman. He was a lightweight.
will go against Giants
Yeah.
and lead the league in scoring. So we have to pause.
Yeah.
He's shown up in some recent commercials, so he's back in the limelight.
Yeah.
But he's the guy, and the reason we can draw a little slight bridge, we always have to pour it out on this day.
Yeah.
Is it's the juxtaposition between a Larry Brown as a coach and the culture that he built and the way that he dealt with talent.
Right.
And one Popovich,
El Jefe
just stepped
up to the role of El Jefe, I believe,
which you already had. So he got rid of one role and
was it a chrysalis? Did he get rid of a chrysalis of some kind? Just checking.
I gotta get you a little later in the day or early in the morning. I'm not ready for this. So Larry Brown, it's my way or the highway. We saw a similar, and I do want to have a longer stretch on Pop.
So let's talk Pop, but let's give AI his due before we move on. In that, that episode and the fact that we're able to cite that reference is pretty foundational to the stuff that we're talking about on the podcast, and would love to hear more people recite, and also maybe hear Tarlin recite it better. But like in honor of AI, it'd be great if people could start working on their repertoire by next year. I want to hear a chorus of people reciting practice, because I kind of want to read it myself. I feel like
not a game,
not a game. Not a game. Yeah,
practice.
But anyway,
talking about practice.
Great oratory.
Practice.
It's right up there with it's the 7 years ago of 2002. So shout out to AI, 23 years. Thanks to our listeners everyone who's listened to it, great. And if you haven't listened to it, you should. And we'll keep talking more about it in the future. But you wanted to transition to
I dare you before we move on from AI.
Yeah.
To now recent time. Anything.
And you also threw me off with the Haliburton. I mean, who's hosting this show? I was
not going to bring up Haliburton.
I think you're over prepped.
There's no prep. There's like 2 words on my page.
Okay.
You said we're going to pod. You sent me for it. It is the Allen Iverson practice birthday.
Right. It's an emergency podcast.
Let's go. I got I have my lid on to make sure we're part of the resistance.
Yes.
And we're moving.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
We ran it back to AI, and we will never forget. We'll do it every year.
Yeah.
I think we'll see if the overrate that May 6th,
I don't think it's going to
make it. Well, we'll see what the fan, we'll see what our,
we'll see what the vote is.
We'll see what the fan vote looks like.
Yeah. Okay.
But think about a recent time or anyone sort of rivals that. Doesn't have the hard hitting practice that's meme like, but someone that I thought had an impactful extemporaneous, like just going off on the media, was, I think, Giannis at 2 moments.
Yeah.
When they challenged Giannis, first round loss.
Right.
And sort of how he summed up sort of a failed season.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he said, there is no failure in sports.
Right.
That for me, there's not a lot of memes, but that said a lot about Giannis.
Yeah.
I thought that was dope.
And he also said, I think he said, get your son's towel out of my face, MFer. I think he also might have said that.
Second, is the way he is 4.5 minutes. Giannis again, after one. We got to talk about the Haliburtons again. John Haliburton got in his face with the Tyrese towel.
I have been watching Game of Zones, and I called it House of Zones last time, and we're not editing it, and I had to just let that go out. So my bad. But Game of Zones is amazing. It's available for free on Max. It's also on YouTube, with YouTube ads and whatnot. But it kind of, I forgot that Chris Bosh was the dragon. Like stuff like that from season 1. And then I also discovered that Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr came back preseason with a 3-hour Game of Zones movie about the Warriors I think it was when they came back together in 2016. So after they'd won, but Game of Zones, check it out, because House of Haliburton is making way more noise than you would expect, and I guess I gotta
Haliburton or the Targaryens? What are you gonna see?
I don't know. I mean, that's giving him a lot of credit. You know what I mean? But yeah, maybe because House of Riley tamed Chris Bosh, but that's not the point. That's not what we're talking about.
No. So what, you keep getting distracted.
Yeah.
It's just the playoffs.
Yeah. Playoffs?
And as long as Indiana's in, we're gonna have something to talk about.
The Knicks are playing the Celtics tonight. And you see how calm I am about it?
Very calm. I mean, the Celtics will they'll still be allergic to layups, and we'll see how many threes they shoot. Yeah. But we're getting off track.
Yeah.
We go back to
Coach Pop.
If you're going to make corrections, 12 times 12 is 144. Are there any more tests? Any more?
Yeah. This is our corrections from last week.
This is from last week. Okay. To Pop.
Yes.
Larry Brown, a totally different leader.
Yeah.
Popovich, known as, he's just an angry dude, especially if you catch him during the game, in between a quarter, and you have
a microphone.
Dorsberg trying to interview Pop.
Yeah.
He's the most uncomfortable, special,
Sager was pretty good.
Cringe-worthy, Saved by the Bell, David Aldridge do it moment.
He would lean into the awkward. He would make it feel bad. Yeah.
Just let it lie still.
Uh-huh.
So beyond that, massive culture builder. One Steven Jackson, who's had his own issues with coaching, that he's not a coach. He is a leader. So we want to give Pop space, but in calling out Pop, who is one of the GOAT leaders.
Yeah.
He's also the first, not the one to discover international players, but the one to really lean in.
Manu and Duncan doesn't count as international, right? Are you counting him?
Duncan, Tony Parker, Corey Joseph, Patty Mills, Thiago
Didn't our president,
Aaron Baines.
Where was he born? Didn't our president just annex? Why is he going after Canada? Like, the vacationing in the West Indies is a lot better. I better not say that out loud. We'll have to edit this on. Oh, I guess.
No editing.
Oh my God.
This guy already said I'm wearing a resistance hat. So, and it's not to me.
Yeah.
So anyways, we love AI Day. It's just a quick shout out. We're not, the playoffs are going right now. One step to come back.
Yeah.
From him. You don't want to see that. You want to see all guys.
Yeah.
All the guys healthy. Obviously the Cavs aren't healthy, but there's Garland out, Mobley hurt.
Yeah.
So it's interesting dynamics. I do think
we're just going to slow play the Knicks. Please don't talk about the Knicks.
Yeah. I was just going to say one thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't jinx them last time. I do think the Nova Knicks play hard.
Yeah. That commercial, come on, that commercial with Dante.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I've been watching that commercial when
great acting.
Brunson throws the visor.
Great.
That's like Villanova visor sales are off the chart. I'm watching that with my son, and he looks at it, he looks over, and he kind of smiled. I had to explain the whole backstory.
Yep.
NBA, man, it's been fun. We'll keep doing it.
We will. We'll keep having quick hitters.
Yeah.
But for those who don't mark your calendar, this is the day. And for those who have not watched the press conference,
we want to have.
It's not because we think some players unhinged. You just reached the breaking point. You got a chance to see, and we got to see back to Pop. Yeah, we got to see a similar dynamic. It's probably one time a very public split between Kawhi Leonard and Pop about load management and injuries. Now, Pop, and over his history beyond that period of time, has shown that he might have, Kawhi maybe has some load management injury.
Yeah.
But not as public as with AI. And so it's very, love to dig into the difference between the two cultures, the two leaders. Larry Brown is seen as one of the greatest coaches of all time because of his winning percentage. But Pop is at his advanced age, over 70, is that global millennial leader. And it's shocking that he was able to adapt over the 20 plus years in his coaching career. And so I say that because it would have been interesting for an AI to be in Pop's culture.
That's true.
I think AI would have thrived because you know what? It's not about practice, Paul. It's about the game.
It's about the game.
So I'll leave it at that.
All right, man. I'll act like that was important, and we'll wrap it up. Everyone, this is Running It Back. We'll be back again soon.
Go Knicks.